What is going on, everybody? Randy's the first one in the house this evening. Oh, Jill must be asleep at the wheel. Thanks for stopping out, everybody. Appreciate the love and the support. We got another episode of the podcast. We got the first podcast coming to you live from the Let's Legalize Wisconsin news desk. You can't see the desk, but you can see the cool sign thing in the background. Super excited about that. Shout out to my wife. Looks easy, right? Like, anyways, it's up, it's running. Hopefully the show's working. If there's any issues, let me know right away. Appreciate that. You guys are usually one to let me know. We got Danny in here running for president. What's up, buddy? Heath is here right away. Heather, thanks for stopping out, guys. Much love, much love. Super excited for tonight's shows and tonight's guests. We got 3 guests, so we'll be popping that off here in just a second. But before we get rolling, I always like to give a shout out to the folks who make this thing possible. Shout out to Higher Love, our friends in the UP. If you need any cannabis-related needs, make sure you check them out up there in the UP. Most of you have already been there and know what's going on. But if you haven't got a chance yet, please make sure you check them out. Use the promo code. They're located all across the UP, so it is worth the drive, even if you're down by Milwaukee. When you look at the savings compared to Illinois, that's just my opinion, maybe. But also, if you're looking at the state of Wisconsin, we got Ignite Dispensary. They're going to be located across the state: Milwaukee, Spooner, Hayward, Superior, Manitowoc, New Richmond. We're actually going to be having the CEO of the company is going to be on this month. Looking forward to that. We got Tom Arnold in the house, in class on time. Hey, Tommy, appreciate it. We got Jill. We got Green Swan. Thanks for stopping out, guys. Pete, I got to give you a holler this evening. Don't let me forget. Much love. Hope everything's going well over there as well. All right. Enough of me yapping. We got a couple events coming up. We're 2 weeks away. Well, a week and a half. It's next Friday. Where we're going to be out there at Vibin' in the Pines. That's a 4-day event. For those of you who can still party and get it on for 4 days, I will be there Friday and Saturday. That's about the extent of me trying to party for more than 1 day. I can try to get 2 in there. But no, really looking forward to it. We're going to be launching a ticket giveaway after tonight's episode. So stay tuned for that. It's a $120 value for the 4-day pass. They're hooking us up with 2. So get you a chance to try and win those tickets. How about the Flyers and the can koozies? Jill, you got them. They are en route. Jill's getting the hookup. Jill's been here since, I think, episode 1, if I'm not mistaken. She makes it happen. Jill's awesome. I mean, you guys are all awesome. But shout out to Jill. She's like the OG. Then we also got the Great Midwest Hemp Fest, which obviously we're going to be really talking about tonight. But just a friendly reminder, we always like to do the events in the beginning, so we'll just touch on that again. That is James Madison Park this year. Really looking forward to that. Saturday, September 28th, and Sunday, the 29th. We got the March to the Capitol is on the 29th. Looking forward to that. We've got, let me copy this, put it in the link just so people who stop in right away got all the links. Paste. All right, enough of just me babbling here with the new sign. Let's introduce some fine folks here from the Hemp Fest. Let's go in the order that you're on my screen. We'll introduce you guys one at a time. If you can just kind of share, what got you started with Hemp Fest, what you're doing there at the Great Midwest Hemp Fest, and let's just do some introductions first. Let's get things rocking here. We got Chris in the house. Chris, how we doing, sir? Oh, I got all of them. Apparently, I don't know exactly how to work that, so we're going to just see them all. Look at that. Sorry if you guys weren't expecting that. I wasn't either. So how's it going, everybody?
I'm good. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. So let's kind of go around the room here. Chris, if you want to touch base with you, and then we'll introduce the ladies.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Chris Rohn. I'm the Director of Operations for the Great Midwest Hemp Fest. I got started in this about 2.5 years ago. A buddy of mine, Nick Ruda, who Bobby's had on the podcast before, he was friends with Ruth, who was one of the organizers for the festival in the past. And he had talked to her about possibly kind of taking over. There was, she was more so interested in passing the torch on to somebody else. So he had a conversation with her, and he came to me and said, "Hey, do you think this is something we could do?" We were both pretty passionate about it. I'm prior service, so a lot of my friends who are prior service use cannabis as medication for PTSD. So pretty passionate just in that sense. So it's like, let's do it, man. Let's see if we can make this happen. Now, 2.5 years later, we've got a pretty big team. It's moved from Library Mall over to James Madison Park. We've got a couple days, as Bobby mentioned. We've got a lot going on. I'm really excited for it. So can't wait to see you guys out there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks for introducing yourself, Chris. And obviously, we'll be chatting up a little more here. But without further ado, let's move over to Brooke. Brooke, thanks for joining tonight.
Absolutely. Hello. My name is Brooke. I'm the marketing director with the festival. And similar to Chris, who I met through Nick, I was friends with Nick. He said he had recently kind of been passed the torch of this festival for seeking legalization in Wisconsin. I am, lifelong sufferer of anxiety and depression. And so that's where my cannabis use primarily comes from. And being in a state that isn't legal, being a person who is able to stand up and talk about it and bring the community together has just been really, really powerful and really awesome. I've met some amazing people being a part of this team. We're all volunteers, so the drive to do this is very, very strong, and we're just grateful for all of the good things that come from this festival. Can't wait for this year. I was on last year, and so to see the growth into this year has been really, really awesome, and I can't wait. So nice to meet y'all.
Thank you, Brooke. Really excited to have you with us as well. And then we've got Bree as well. Bree, how are you doing this evening?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having all of us on. Yep. My name is Bree Smith. I'm the director of brand strategy and helping with operations as well. I've been in the cannabis industry for almost 10 years, and my journey started in California back in 2015-ish, and worked in a lot of different marketing positions in the cannabis space. But then 2020 rolled around. I moved back to the Midwest. I'm a Minnesotanite, so I grew up between Minnesota and Wisconsin. My family's kind of split between both states. And I got to watch Minnesota start to legalize things and incorporate cannabis beverages or hemp beverages into their restaurants and their shops and everything. And seeing how people just flocked to that opportunity to try it and to try it in a safe way was really super inspiring. So as I was introduced to some of the members of the team here, it made a lot of sense for me to join onto the team and to help out. Very lucky to have served on the Legacy Cup team last year, which was one of the hugest cannabis festivals in the Midwest, and continues to grow. So again, Legacy Cup will be in September again this year, but super happy to be serving on the Great Midwest Hemp Fest team, where I can bring some of that knowledge over as well. So really stoked on this year, an amazing team, as Brooke said, and it's going to be really fun. So yeah, thank you for having us on.
Absolutely. And we've talked about HempFest a couple times on the show. Haven't really super dived into it, which I'll be excited to do tonight as far as what we've got planned this year. And some of those things. So really looking forward to that. Chris, I was thinking we got a question come through here. The Midwest Hemp Fest, when did that start? It was, if I'm not mistaken, it evolved, right? I think it was the Midwest Marijuana Harvest Festival, or it's been a couple of years though, right?
Yeah, it was the Great Midwest Marijuana Harvest Festival originally. Started in 1971. It was a protest festival from day one. It started with Ben Mazel, who was able to kind of gather a group of his friends together and make it happen. And it still goes on today. So long history. Unfortunately, Ben Mazel isn't with us anymore, but we strive every day to carry on his legacy and make sure he's proud of the work that we do.
Right on, man. I definitely think that would be the case. We got a couple hellos, everyone that's here tonight. Appreciate that.
Hello.
We'll kind of let you guys, obviously this is a pretty big and awesome production. So when it comes to planning and how we're going to kind of talk about all the different aspects, let's well, you guys kind of take the wheel here, and how do we want to kind of chop things up?
Well, as Chris said, this started 54 years ago with Ben Mazel. And as we looked into, Brooke and I were really looking into what did Ben Mazel do? Why is 420 the official Ben Mazel Day in the city of Madison? And it turns out that he was a no good rebel rouser. At least that's what the quote was. Really pushed his limits as far as like he was basically a walking, talking dictionary for the law. And he really knew his rights and he pushed them to the very limit. And we love that. We love people taking their rights into their own hands. And that's really what the message still is today, that we deserve to have our rights. We what was the slogan of those the flyers way back when? Hemp for victory. And now we like to say cannabis for liberty. We believe that people should be able to make their own choices for their medicine, for their wellness. We believe people should have autonomy over their body. And we believe that our communities would be safer if that was a reality. So we want to continue to push that message. It also kind of stems into what we believe about the industry right now, which is that we want to support the small legacy mom and pop farmers and the small brands across the state. That's part of the reason why when we started opening up sponsorship opportunities, we really encouraged local folks to get in there first. And we even, priced any sort of national sponsorships at a higher rate because we would prefer to give local vendors a leg up, because it really is about supporting Wisconsin business and Wisconsin patients above all else. So that's kind of where we are now today. Brooke, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just going to add on to that. As you were talking, I also thought about the educational aspect that is huge for us this year overall, but just has been. As a state that isn't legal yet, a huge part of this is going to be education. What is safe, responsible use? What does dosing look like? From anyone who is a daily user to someone who is just kind of curious, we want to make sure that they can walk into this festival and gain some knowledge or share some knowledge. Like, so much of this comes from the community and those resources and how we can share them. And so that's just a huge part of our planning this year as well.
Awesome. That makes sense. As far as it is really unique because there's only 12 states that would be protesting the complete prohibition of cannabis. So obviously that's a little different than some folks who are maybe more so celebrating the use of cannabis or that kind of thing. So I think, we got to call on that history that's been kind of pushing this and continue to evolve it, especially with social media. Hopefully that'll be a way to kind of push this thing through to the end. I know we talk about that quite a bit. We got Tom has a comment here. Is there a direction that could include you all from HempFest to it not only to be a protest fest, but what about something like industrial hemp or education on it? Like, obviously all of us know the benefits of cannabis, but what about like here in Wisconsin, paper mills in the Fox Valley, et cetera? Why hasn't there been an expansion in the hemp industry on a level like that? Is that a way to further the movement for cannabis for all use? I think so. What do you think, Bree? You seem to
I was actually going to speak to,
that.
That's a great question. Actually, one of the things, if you go to our website, you'll see the first thing on the page says 2 events, 1 mission. So this year, we're really happy to try something new, which we wanted to keep the protest intact the way that it was. We're still protesting prohibition in the state. We're an island of prohibition. All of the states around us have legalized. And it makes it very difficult for us to move forward when, people have to leave the state to get what they need. And then they come back and then they're at risk of being persecuted. So we want to be legalized as well. But that's part of the reason why we split the event into 2 different pieces. So the protest will be free as it has been for the last 54 years. Using your voice should always be free. And we've also created the Great Midwest Hemp Fest, which is a ticketed event. The reason why we're ticketing it is because we have so many amazing things that we've put together for this 2-day event. And so I'll go through them and then I'll kind of go back around to the question. But the main components of the fest this year include, which we're really excited about this, a THC beverage sampling tent. Hemp beverage is an awesome opportunity for people to try cannabis for the first time, hemp for the first time. And if I slip up and I say cannabis, it's because hemp and cannabis, they're the same plant. But we all know that there's some numbers games that we play. So if you hear me say cannabis, keep that in mind. But we're doing a THC beverage sampling tent. It's going to be 20 brands with 2 SKUs of beverage each. So a lot of beverages to sample. Then there will be a camp out sesh, not a sesh lounge. And that will be a place where people can consume. Luckily, in the city of Madison, it is decriminalized. So we have to say some things to our attendees, basically to check off a box for legalities. But that's where people can consume their hemp flower and feel good about it. We have two stages of music, so we'll have a main stage and a side stage. We've got a ton of amazing musical guests that will be coming. We'll be selling merch at our headquarters, our HempFest HQ. There will be THC vendors and non-THC vendors, so think more artisan craft vendors. There will be food trucks, and there will be an education tent. And this is kind of where I'm coming back to that question. So the education tent is meant to serve kind of 2 purposes. We will have some industry-specific conversations happening there, but there will also be conversations around, dosing and, the endocannabinoid system and how to properly source products. But one of the great things this year, and this is still in the works, but we are talking with the UW to have conversations around how hemp farmers can get involved with their study right now. They are doing a hemp flower genetics study. So a lot of opportunities for the farmers in the state who are already growing or who are interested in growing to touch base with the UW and the lab that's specifically conducting those experiments. So there are a lot of opportunities for people in the industry to gain exposure to people who want to consume, but also for businesses to make partnerships with each other. So we really are hoping that the fest will bring a lot of opportunity for consumers and business owners and farmers alike. Hopefully I answered your
It
question.
sounds like you're taking it to the next step and obviously having a little insight into seeing some of those collabs and everything you guys are working on. I think it's gonna be really exciting to see essentially what you're talking about, because it's kind of come together at the perfect time, because for instance, Tom asking about it, you guys thinking about it for this year, like I think it just goes to show it's all hands on deck, all of us. And it very much, I could tell from day one, like it's almost like a family effort. Like, hey, if you got something we're not thinking about, like we're trying to, I mean, you guys, I can't think of anything right now because there's a lot that's going to be there and all that kind of stuff. But like, obviously we're all in this together. This state is way behind. So it's just the love of cannabis, which is something that I think is a pretty deeply rooted subject. Tom says, thank you for the answer, Bree. And real quick, we've got a question from Jake. He says, what challenges have you faced in organizing the festival, especially in a state where cannabis is not fully legalized? Has to be tough. Appreciate you all. Brooke, you want to take that one?
Sure. Although I will say I am the marketer. So the other 2 in this chat are definitely the ones most in charge of like the organizing and all of that.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Sorry.
Yes. But just from the tip, what I can answer regarding this question, one of the most difficult parts has really just been, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, we're a team of volunteers. So we are partners, parents, students, full-time employees. Like this is something that we are so incredibly passionate about that we cannot not do it. That said, like we are working tirelessly behind the scenes, lots of sleepless nights to pull this together. And like you mentioned, we are in not a legal state. And so there are things that we have to be careful about, partnerships that we either can or can't move forward with, language that we have to watch out for, social media. And this is just across the entire cannabis industry. But for my job, social media does not make it easy to talk about cannabis on the internet. And obviously social media is a really big driver of the just promotions overall and getting the word out. So that has been a little bit of a stifling element. But Bree or Chris, I will pass it over to you to talk more about the organizing of the fest and anything that else has come with that.
Yeah. So City of Madison actually has been very kind to us, because we have such a rich history being in that area. I think a lot of the people behind closed doors want the same things that we all want. So they've been really flexible with us. When we did our initial meeting with the committee in that neighborhood to get the approval for this event, we actually had a city official come and represent us and talk about how good this festival is, and what it means to the community, and it's more or less allowed this to be able to happen in the new area that we're in. So while there is, some challenges, I don't want to, shy too much from the fact that the community still wants it. It does make it a little hard being not legal in Wisconsin to be able to provide all the things that we want to provide to the community. But we have a really good team on our side. We have City of Madison's been great. Even the City of Madison Police Department, they have our full support. They've been allowing us to be able to move forward in a lot of this stuff, and even being able to do things like on-site consumption, which we are not doing. So it's been a really cool experience being able to work with them in that aspect.
Awesome. Looks like we got a couple comments here. We got Dave says, "Good job, can't wait to Hemp Fest." Jacob says, "Makes sense. Appreciate you all. Hoping to be able to make it out this year." Sounds good, man. Appreciate the support, guys. Right on. That was the questions we had in the chat. So I'll turn it back to you guys as far as kind of what you have that you want to touch base on. Really excited about all the, like you said, the diverse lineup, and sounds like we're gonna have like our own little, not a mile of music, but like a really nice music lineup and everything. I know you guys know what you're doing with the music side of things. So, what do we want to discuss next, guys?
Yeah, well, I was going to say one of the other challenges, and this is something that anybody who's witnessing now can help us with. As Brooke mentioned, getting the word out is tough when we're super censored on social. So the more people that we have sharing, commenting, liking, interacting with our content, it definitely helps. So if you guys, if as we roll out more and more social posts, we would love for you guys to share them, talk to your friends about it. We'll be printing out posters. We would love for volunteers to help us poster in whatever town you're in. We're happy to ship it to you. We're really looking for other local cannabis and hemp businesses to get involved as well. So if you have a shop that you go to that is selling hemp products, tell them, hey, are you guys involved in the Great Midwest Hemp Fest? You should do that, because we have such a small team. It's bigger than previous years, but we're still talking about under 10 people. So to organize all this ourselves, it is really tough, and we only have as much reach as we have. So if you know of a brand that should be involved, if you know of a company that should be involved, we want to hear from you. Who are they? Do you have contact information? Or if you could just tell them, hey, the Great Midwest Hemp Fest is still looking for sponsors and vendors and participants. So any way that you guys can get the word out and help us along in that is extremely, extremely appreciated, and it does make an impact. So that's
awesome. It looks like we got some people that want to throw up some posters for you guys.
Awesome.
Grace asks, how can people get involved? Sounds like you might need some help. Is that on the website, guys, or
yes?
Facebook?
So there is at the bottom, I think it's on the homepage, and if you want, we can pull that up too. But on the bottom of the homepage, it says, do you want to get involved? And there are a lot of different ways to get involved, but one would be volunteering day of, and obviously you would get in for free if you help to volunteer. But volunteering day of would be huge, and pre-fest, we'll have some opportunities as well. Like I said, we'll probably be mailing out some flyers. People can stick those around town where it's legal to do so. Don't be posting in somebody's house or something.
Sure. Real quick, were you talking on the website here? Contact us? Or?
Right there, it says Wisconsin voters.
Oh, did I go?
There you go.
Yep, there we go. Oh, right here.
Yep. So those are the many ways that you can get involved, and we encourage you to fill that out. We will be sending out emails here in the next week or two. So, sign up there. And of course, buy a ticket, come along to the fest. If you would like to come and be a DD, I think that we had a price point that was a little bit lower for that. I'm not sure if that's up yet, but if you have any questions, feel free to fill out the contact form. We'll be selling merch, but we will definitely need volunteers day of.
Awesome. Looking forward to it, guys. Oh, we're getting close. Well, actually, I can tell you it's 55 days because it's when my daughter is due. Super excited about that. And I keep telling the doc, like, are you sure 39 week you want to do 38? Well, we'll see how that all plays out. But we got some plans in motion on our side. I know it's going to be great either way. So what do we got next, guys?
So, Chris, do you want to talk a little bit about our comedy event that's happening on Friday leading up to the event?
Hey,
Yeah, absolutely. So we partnered with Midwest Mix Up at the Annex over in Madison. Annex does tons of shows every day, and they are working with us on a comedy event, which is going to be kind of a pre-festival kickoff. The comedians Mark Smalls will be the headliner. Very cannabis friendly comedian, and then we're going to have a couple of openers from the Madison community there as well, so that'll be pretty exciting. Tickets are on sale right now for that as well. And it's going to be a really cool event. So I have some vendors there, talk about the Hemp Fest while we're there too. And it'll just be a really cool way to kind of get the community involved in some comedy and some laughter before the big event.
Awesome. I know we could always use the laugh. I thought maybe you'd give her a try at stand up or something, Chris. But hey, we'll take this guy you guys got lined up. I'm not gonna lie, like I think I'm funny sometimes, but then when I actually think about it, I'm like, I'm such a dork. But
you don't want us to give you like a 5-minute set in the beginning. We can just hand you the microphone.
Yeah, right.
And I'm checking out. But
most people are funny when they're not trying to be.
Exactly.
And then when they try to be funny, they're like, "Oh, I'm just messing this all up."
Epic fail. Right on. No, very exciting. Oh, go ahead. Somebody was.
I was gonna say, if Brooke would want to start in on a cool new thing that we're doing this year, it will be our first year doing it, and we hope to do it for years to come. It is our Great Midwest Hemp Fest zine.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that, and then I'll take over. You can go ahead, though.
Yes, absolutely. Ooh, new layout. I like this. Yeah, so the zine, this came from some brainstorming meetings. One of my favorite things about being a creative person is being able to hop in and just hone in on something that we're focusing on. And obviously outreach is a really big part of that and how we can represent the festival. It is an historic festival and it is its own piece of history in the Madison community. And we wanted to continue to respect that and honor that. And so as it started as part of the counterculture of the 60s and the 70s. This happened in 71. It's been a legalization protest since then. And a big part of counterculture is getting information out there through ways that aren't mainstream. And one of those have been zines. That is just a huge way to get across this information that isn't necessarily like being fed through newspapers or any sort of mainstream media like that. And one great part about it is it can include so much community involvement. And I'll let Bree speak more to maybe the inside of what's going on inside the zine. But as for its inception, we just really wanted to make a timestamp of the festival. This is 2024. This is what it looks like. This is the history that we came from. These are the artists that we collaborated with. These are the organizations that we collaborated with to make it happen. This is a protest. It always has been a protest. It always will be a protest. And so we're working with some really cool partnerships to get that across in terms of messaging. Our art director, Diesel, is phenomenal. He is designing the whole thing, and it's been a really cool process to just put all of our brains together and see what we come up with on the other end. So that is, I believe we'll have them for sale day of on the HQ at the HQ tent, but we are also including them in part of the VIP package, which includes the THC beverage. It includes the zine. There's a VIP grab bag, et cetera, et cetera. But the zine will be specifically included in that. And that is a memory that we want people to partake in, color in it, scratch it up. There will be tearaway activities that you can participate in. So I'm really excited to see that come to life. But Bree, I'm going to pass it back to you if you want to talk about any of the anything else related to the zine.
Yeah, and thank you. Killed it. Nailed it. But the zine, yeah. So one of the exciting things from my perspective is our partnership with a brand called 40 Tons brand. They are all about they have shirts that say no one deserves to be in prison for cannabis or some iteration of that. No one should be in prison. No one should be in prison for cannabis. And they have a campaign, a letter writing campaign. They feature several different prisoners who are currently serving very long sentences for cannabis possession, non-violent cannabis crimes. So the exciting part is our partnership with them will feature a few of those prisoners in the zine, and they will be tear off postcards so that you can send your well wishes to them in prison and let them know that we are fighting on their behalf to get them out. And the more people that we can get knowing about their stories and knowing about, what's going on with the inequality around cannabis and the fact that, primarily Black and brown people are going to jail over white people. If you've ever heard of the book, The New Jim Crow, it's a great book that details that in great length. And yeah, we just want to continue the message that we are here to liberate people from this prohibition, and no one should be in prison for cannabis. That's going to be a really big piece of the zine. But obviously, as Brooke mentioned, having art and artists represented and telling their stories is really huge. And we're just excited that this is the first year that we're doing it. So we're giving it a try, and hopefully in future years, more artists will be able to reach out in advance and be a part of the zine. And hopefully we won't have to have more prisoner profiles because people won't be in jail for cannabis anymore. That's the goal, obviously, but we'll continue to tell their stories. We'll also be selling the t-shirts that say no one should be in prison for cannabis. And we hope that people will interact more with the people who are still serving their sentences and that it can actually make a difference. So yeah, that's the zine. We're super excited about it. There will also be other opportunities. We're gonna have a photo booth, TBD on the theme of the photo booth, but thinking along those lines that nobody should be in prison for cannabis, hoping to do something with that. And then you mentioned, Brooke, the VIP stuff. Do you feel like now's a good time to talk about what all of that entails?
Yeah, absolutely.
Should we pull up the tickets?
Yes, that's what I need to do, because even though I wrote the excerpt, I would love to take a look at it.
There we go.
Let's go over to... you want me to pull up the website page, guys?
Yes, there's also, so it'll link out to eTix, which I'm pulling up over here.
There we go.
Oh yeah. Skylar, our incredible, amazing, wonderful, amazing web designer, put this together, and here, yeah, she has everything listed out.
Cool. So yeah, do you want to explain what all is going into it?
Sure. I mean, the idea behind this was obviously getting into the festival, you have access to all the vendors, the music, the food trucks, the day, the celebration that is happening at the festival itself. And so we wanted to do something a little bit special for anybody who wants to really deeply dive into that history portion of it and walk away with some goodies as well. There'll be a commemorative cup for the THC beverage tasting tent. This will give you access to sample as many beverages throughout the tent as are available to you, plus that commemorative cup. Again, like, this has been a historical event. I love seeing the posters, the old merch, somebody has a Frisbee from one year. I love that was part of their marketing one year. So we're having these cups for the 2024 season, and I'm really excited about it. A commemorative ticket, again, just trying to memorialize the day and the festival that you took part in. The zine that we just touched on, VIP lanyard. You'll have 15% off any Great Midwest Hemp Fest merch. That'll be sold in person and online. And then there's a coupon book that will come with the zine. It is for the vendors and sponsors that'll be at the festival. So if you're looking to make purchases, which I highly recommend, last year was amazing to see all the various vendors and different types of things that you can purchase. And so this year we wanted to bring and offer this coupon book. So if you're already there, you're already shopping. If you have a VIP ticket, there are some extra deals that can happen because of it.
We like deals, Brooke. That's awesome.
Gotta love the coops.
There's a lot going on with the VIP add-on. Just the beverage tent alone, that's there's so many awesome beverages out there now. It's exciting.
Yes,
Looking
and
forward to that for sure.
so delicious. I
Absolutely.
love the fun flavors that they have. I've had some hemp hops water recently. That was like, yeah, it was just like a very nice seltzer. I think it was Third Space Brewing out here in Milwaukee. Very good. Very much recommended.
Awesome. Right on. So we got the VIP, we got the zine, we've got the music, we've got the comedy.
Yeah. I mean, Bree, do you want to talk about the tickets a little bit, kind of what that change is and what the ticketing process looks like this year?
Sure.
Helps if I put her back on there. Sorry about that.
No worries. I was also going to say after this, I want to open it up to the attendees here with some questions. But so Saturday, if you want to click on Saturday, the fest is going to be from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. And right now we have early bird pricing. It's $15 per person for a ticket. If you think about this, how much would you pay to go to a day full of concerts? If you'd spend $15 on that alone, like you're doing great, you know? And there's so many other activations that are happening. So we really wanted to make it affordable. We're not trying to price people out or anything. We want everybody to come in, celebrate the culture of cannabis, and find like-minded people. So that was really the idea behind that. The regular pricing will be $25 per person for the full day. Of course, you can still add on the VIP package if you'd like, but there will be 11 performances, 2 stages. We'll have access to does that say? Okay, I thought it said a computer lounge. I was like, there's a computer lounge, guys.
Yeah, we're bringing in the Macs, exactly how you expect to see them.
5th grade, the big bubble ones. Okay, the campsite lounge, yes. So that activation is going to be so much fun. Education booth, obviously all the hemp vendors. There's going to be food trucks. So that's going to be in the merch, but that'll be Saturday. And then on Sunday, again, it'll be from 11 until 4:20. At 4:20, we're going to ask everybody to head to the exit where we will all gather at the end of the street, and then we'll march our way to the Capitol steps. And at the Capitol steps, we're going to have some representatives from the cannabis industry, the hemp industry, and some of our elected officials who will be speaking to what's happening now and how we can work together to fight for legalization in the right ways. There have been a lot of bills proposed, but not all of them are doing what we feel is really, what would be doing our state justice. We want equity to be a huge piece of any future legislation. We want big business to not have the advantage that money oftentimes buys them. We'd love to keep things local and focus on legacy farmers. And folks who have gone to prison for cannabis possession, we want to give them a leg up too. So talking with the legislators and with some professionals in the space about how we can prioritize that. So that's going to be Sunday. And like I said, we'll be marching up to the steps. And then if you would like, we also have the option to buy a weekend ticket. If you want to scroll up a little bit again, there we go. The multi-day ticket. So this pricing is on purpose. We want you to come for both days. We want you to experience the fest and all the musicians, but then we want you to take part in the protest as well. It has everything obviously for both days combined there. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments, but I would love to also point out that we are in the process of getting additional people into our education lineup. So if there are topics specifically that you guys want to hear about, we want to know what those are. And so if you want to drop those in the comments, that would be great for us. I don't know if you have anything else you want to say about ticketing.
I just want to shout out Heather, who said she was in the process of buying tickets right now. Thank you, Heather. We'll see you there.
Yeah.
Thank
Getting
you.
it done.
Do you want to speak through the lineup real quick? It's kind of related to ticketing.
There we go.
We can pull up our gorgeous poster that Diesel designed.
Yeah. Isn't it beautiful?
It's awesome.
Yeah. So
And
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I asked to edit something in this, and he's like, well, it's not really that easy because I drew it myself. And I'm like, oh, well, incredible work. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Diesel killed it here. Yeah, so this festival has always put a big focus on music, so we wanted to make sure that we carried that same legacy more or less with this, and we brought in some touring artists as well as having some local artists, and some of these you might recognize that are based in the Madison area, like Natty Nation, Tane and Neighborly. Those are both from the Madison area. Then we've got bands like the Supervillains. A lot of people from probably my generation and older know them pretty well. They got a bit of a cult following. And then we've got Pacifier, The Hold Up, Cashed Out, Kudo Kenji, Nerdy, so we got a lot of really good, cool artists. Saturday is a little bit more focused onto the reggae rock, whereas Sunday is a little bit more of the hip hop side of things. We wanted to be able to kind of give some focus to both. So really excited about this. And Cashed Out actually has a song called Way Too High for this, so I hope they play the song. They'd be crazy not to, so.
That's awesome. Heather was asking, are you allowed to have teaching about cannabis growing tips?
Yeah, I don't see a reason why not. We
could discuss it, right?
Yeah, our First Amendment should cover that.
Yes.
Educational purposes only, of course. Just like you could rent a book from the library. I don't think any topic is really off the board, but we'll certainly have somebody speaking to growing. So that's a really great question. Thank you. Right
on. Jill, I'll touch base with you. I bet you we can figure something out for getting you down there. Do we have any other questions? We grow, so any info is great, says Heather. All right. Get it. I definitely learned firsthand. It's not just a plant that grows. There's some work to that. We talked about that a couple times out here. Of course, I was in Michigan. We don't do that in Wisconsin. That's silly. No, I'm really excited, guys. We got the link to the tickets in the comments for you. Obviously on the Facebook page, the website. Make sure you guys touch base with that contact form as far as getting some posters from these folks so we can get those spread out and help these guys spread the word. Obviously, we're really looking forward to it. I just got another thing from Facebook this week. It was the most silliest thing out of all the things they picked to have a fuss about because it was cannabis related. I was really surprised, but that is the world we live in currently. So does anyone else have any questions?
I was going to say, Chris, do you want to talk to transportation and parking?
Oh, there you go.
That is a great ad, because I know it's a big question, especially for James Madison Park, because James Madison Park isn't, none of Madison is very parking friendly, but James Madison Park in particular, we will have handy accessible parking kind of along the side of the road there where James Madison Park is, if anybody's interested in that. We will also have some spots that we're working with the city of Madison to try to reserve some spots at State Street Garage too. There's some option to do some discounted tickets for that. We're working with the city on, so TBD on what that looks like, but at the very least we want to be able to provide those that information out for you. That State Street Garage is close by. There's also a couple of garages in the immediate area too that are within walking distance, so most of what parking is going to be like is going to be garage parking. Probably a safer option anyway versus side street parking. So we're trying to make this as accessible as possible. And then at some point too, we can post bus routes if there's bus routes over there. People who rely on public transportation, Uber drop off, good spots for that. They're safe to be dropped off at. Those types of things we can release in the coming weeks. But it is a beautiful area. It's right on the water. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous out during that time frame. Last year around that time it was about 80 degrees, so we're hoping for somewhat kinder weather, but being by the water too might be a little bit colder, so we'll see. But I think it's going to be really cool to be able to partake in recreational activities and listen to some really cool bands as the sun's coming down. I think it's going to be a really cool vibe.
Awesome.
And we've got t-shirts and hoodies on the website as merch, so you can wear whatever and you will be prepared either way.
Very true.
What about we got any like ponchos?
Ooh, I'm making it on the note, Bobby
Yep.
Beans.
I remember
hats
as a young lad, I thought I was going to be a millionaire because my dad took me to a Packer game. It was, in the parking process, it started raining and there was a guy selling garbage bags, just the black garbage bags for like $10 a piece. And I was like, I'm going to go to every game and do that. That's so smart. So maybe I'll be doing that out there. You guys might have a hard time finding me. Pushing. I gotta get this kid fed. So
yeah, there you go. If it's raining, go find Bobby. He's got garbage bags. $10.
There you go. Well, thank you guys very much for your time. I know, like you said, this is a something you guys do in your somewhat limited, obviously, spare time and putting all this stuff together on top of everything else you guys are doing. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do everything you have for this awesome event. Really look forward to be a small part of it this year. And I'm just, again, it's for me, especially because it's that and the kid, like it's going to be the best weekend of my life. Other than when I got married, of course. So shout out to my wife. Love you. She's always on here watching, so we can't get in trouble, guys. No, she helps me with the comments, though. But appreciate you guys. We'll let you get back to your family time or whatever you got going on. Thanks for stopping out on tonight's show. Everybody else, have a great night as well. Last but not least, Jav made it in here. Awesome, man. Thanks for swinging by. Hi in Wisconsin tonight. Let's get it. We'll catch you guys on Wednesday's show. We're going to be talking with the folks from Vibin' in the Pines, so another great event. Looking forward to that one as well. But make sure you get in tune with this year's Hemp Fest. Really looking forward to it. So thanks again, guys. Hope everyone has a great evening. We are all out of here.
Thank you.
Adios, guys. Later.
Bye.